Hey there. This is week 3 for Chem 1030. Let's talk about what's going on this week, get you a little overview. Hopefully you're getting the hang of things, seeing how it works. This is our homepage. You do want to keep your eye on important news items that may show up here. In the upper right hand corner, keep your eye out for orange dots that tell you something is new. Okay, I'm going to go to content. And we are on week 3. You can always pull up the course schedule. I've got it open in another tab. And for week 3, we are doing the midterm lab and final exam sign up, lab exam and final exam sign up. There is lecture material for week 3, and we have lab material for week 3. And the due dates are very similar to what we saw last week. The due dates for experiment 2 will be Wednesday night. Remember, we're doing lab Wednesday night. We have a group of due dates on Saturday signing up for the midterm exam, the lab exam, and the final exam. And your Pearson work is due on Saturday. You have 2 lab report items due on Sunday. You have your pre-lab for experiment 3 and your post-lab for experiment 2. We did experiment 2 last week. Be looking for those grades and feedback in the Dropbox for those. And then you'll be doing a pre-lab assignment for experiment 3. Let me come back here to the table of contents and scroll down. We are still in module 1. We've done week 1, week 2. I'm going to click on week 3. There is an overview. Your view is similar to mine. There is an overview page with a video. Here's a grouping for the midterm exam, lab exam, and final exam signups. There's a grouping for lecture, and then there's a grouping for lab. For these signups, you will be signing up for your midterm exam, lab exam, and final exam. We want you to go ahead and get started now. Some classes have already started, and essentially they have limited slots available in the testing center, and so you need to sign up as soon as possible. And if you do sign up and give us a screenshot of your confirmation, you'll get some points for it. It's an easy assignment. It should be an easy assignment, one that you've got to do anyway. And so you're going to go to the testing center. This is the link to the testing center. And essentially what we have here is there are 4 testing centers. I'm not as familiar with them as Professor Malish is. If you do have questions, please post them on the discussion board or shoot me an email, and we'll find out answers for you. But you have choices as far as the testing centers go, and you have some choices, some flexibility as to the times you sign up. So check those out. You want to go to the testing center that is closest to you, and you're going to sign up for an exam, and Bean is your instructor. So when you do sign up for an exam, you will be looking for the exam for this class taught by Shay Bean. All right, so again, check that out. Let me go back here to this information. Check that out. There are some evening hours available for some of these times. There are some weekend hours possible for some of these times. Depending on your schedule, if you are struggling to find a time available, call the testing center directly and talk with them about what other options may be. They will work with you one-on-one if there are issues. So please get that taken care of as soon as possible. That assignment is due by this weekend, by Saturday night. So do go ahead and sign up for your midterm exam, your lab exam, and your final exam. If we look at our schedule, let me flip back to the schedule page. We're signing up for them here in week 3. If I scroll down, here is your midterm exam. It begins in week 7, so we're early. We still have time. And it kind of extends into spring break if you want to use the first couple of days of spring break to take that. although it does begin on the Friday before spring break. If this were an on-ground class, we would be taking that exam the last day before spring break. Since the lecture portion is online, you have a little bit of flexibility there. All right. For lab, let me come back to the content. All right. So we were just looking at and there are a couple of other links here. Please take a look at those. What can you use during the midterm lab and final exams and be practicing with that material? And then there's a periodic table on the formula page, which you will have available during the exam. For lecture material, we are on Chapter 3. There is a pre-lecture assignment. For that pre-lecture assignment, it should be quick. It's very basic questions. Use the textbook. If you need to look something up, you don't want to struggle with this too much. If you miss a couple on this, it will not ruin your grade. It does count for a grade, so don't just guess willy-nilly, but do use your textbook if you need to briefly, but don't struggle too much on it. If you're struggling too much on one, skip it, move on, and then make sure that you look at that more closely when you're reading and when you're doing your lecture assignment. You have guided notes, you have videos, you have a post-lecture assignment, all right, and a post-lecture adaptive follow-up as usual. All right. And for lab this week, we will be doing experiment 2 in class. The experiment 2 corrections video will not go active. Oh, this is for your pre-lab for experiment 2. You've turned in the pre-lab for experiment 2. It may or may not be graded yet. I am working on those. But the video will go live on Tuesday morning. Take a look at it before lab on Wednesday so that if you've had any questions, hopefully that will answer it. There is an experiment 2 videos which will go live for lab Wednesday night, and then you will be turning in your lab report to the Dropbox here. Remember that if you go back to last week, the pre-lab for experiment 2 had the data sheet and the procedure. So you can, if you didn't post it off when you were working on the pre-lab, you can go print it off now. The post-lab for experiment 2 will be due on Sunday. There's a quiz. All right, there's a quiz for you to follow up on. And then there is a pre-lab for experiment 3. We'll talk more about this on Wednesday night to remind you that you will have to do that. Again, you'll be looking at the experiment. You won't be doing it. And you'll be working out a very brief pre-lab experiment worksheet. I hope you're getting the hang of it now. Please post on the discussion board if you have questions, or shoot me an email if you have questions. And I will see you in class Wednesday night.